Hello and welcome to the Ivan Show. On this episode, I bring you again a senior meteorologist to discuss matters concerning weather forecasting. In the last week of August, Unma Meteorological Authority organized a conference and they were doing national weather forecasting. Immediately after that conference, they started doing sub-regional. They went to break it down because the language in meteorology, the broader the weather forecasting, the chances of it being accurate are also low. So they are trying to break it down for us, make sure that we are equipped with the information, and whatever comes, I think some of us have already experienced the heavy rains. Here in Kampala, we have started realizing that the drainage system is very poor. So, I bring you again Mr. George William Omoy. He's a senior meteorologist here at Uganda National Meteorological Authority and is going to discuss for us. He has been in the field for the past 2 weeks in the eastern region, trying to do the weather forecasting at a sub-region level to make sure that we have the best for this country. Mr. George William Omoy, thank you for allowing to speak to us and welcome to the Ivan Show.
Thank you, Ivan Show. Thank you for hosting me for this particular show. It is really very interesting to have this kind of show whereby we give some update to the whole country.
Thank you so much and great. In Kampala, this is where a majority of people are based. We are receiving serious heavy rains. However, you warned us in our previous episode, should we think we have reached the peak of the heavy rains you talked about?
Okay, thank you. Looking at the forecast, the one we released at the end of the week of August, we clearly stated the projection, clearly stated that most part of the country is going to receive more than average rainfall. The more than average implies there is going to be enhancement of rainfall compared to what we always receive during the period of September, October, November. Meaning, this March rainfall, there are something which is bringing it. And that particular thing which is bringing this rainfall is called, scientists call it an El Nino. And El Nino is associated with the warming of the water bodies over the Pacific Oceans. When the water bodies over the Pacific Ocean is warming more than the normal temperature, then it is generate the signal which is called an El Nino. So that El Nino normally results into pumping a lot of water vapor. Because when the ocean is warming, you know, there will be vapor which is rising to the atmosphere. So this vapor will come, flow over our country. It comes in forms of formation of cloud. Formation of cloud will bring us rain. It is not only the Pacific Ocean, even the Indian Ocean, it is also warming. So the two oceans are warming at the same time. And when the two oceans are warming at the same time, it implies it will be giving us that much rainfall expected. So this year is a year of the warming of the Pacific Ocean and also the warming of the Indian Ocean. That is the reason why our forecast clearly indicated that the September, October, November, and December rainfall is going to be much more than the rainfall which we always receive in most part of the country. So we released that forecast. That was at the last week of August, and many people have already received it. And I expect by now preparedness should have been put in place. So always when we do that, we don't limit ourselves into the national forecast. We also go to a regional level. As I talk right now, we have done 2 regional forecasts. One, we went to Karamoja sub-region. We generated forecast only for Karamoja, and we released it to the people of Karamoja people in collaboration with the district officials. Now, there is a special forecast for Karamoja. We did it 2 weeks ago. Thereafter Karamoja, we came to Soroti. Soroti we finished last week, Friday. In Soroti, we generated forecast for eastern Uganda only. And we have released the forecast also on Friday. Now they have their forecast, which is more, it is giving more details compared to the bigger one, the one we give in Entebbe. Because the one we give we release from Entebbe, it is for the whole country. But now, if you look at that one, it does not give that particular details of Karamoja and even and Moro and Eastern region. But now, in this one of Eastern, we have broken Eastern again into smaller pieces. So it is more clear compared to the one we released from Entebbe. As I talk right now, we are in Fort Photo, and we started last Monday. Tomorrow, we are now releasing the forecast for Mid-Western. So that forecast for Mid-Western will give more detail of the forecast over the Mid-Western. Then next week, we are going to Mbarara. We are going to do for Southwestern region. Again, we will forecast only Southwestern sub-region. Then we break it down into smaller pieces. So that forecast, the one we are going to release next week on Friday over for Midway, for Southwestern, will be more detailed compared to the bigger one, the one we released from the national level.
When you compare your national weather forecast you released and what you are doing right now, are you finding the odds are matching, or you are experiencing some differences?
Yeah, they are matching. They are matching perfectly, but the only difference is the details of the information. Because in the national, the one we released from Entebbe, it does not carry much more detail for a given region. But the one we are releasing for the sub-region, it carries much more detail because we are splitting even the district. We put fewer districts separate, another district separate. But if you look at the sub-national, we are grouping the whole of Western as one block over the forecast. But this one, we are now breaking them into pieces. Two, looking at the advisories, because forecasts always go together with advisories. Given the forecast, rain is going to be much, so what? So the so what is always given in terms of advisories. The impact, what impact will it be? So finding the forecast for the Midwestern, the one we are releasing tomorrow, even for Soroti, for Eastern region, the one we release in Soroti, then Karamoja, it talks about Karamoja strictly. And this one for Eastern talks about Eastern. It can even pick a particular what? District or sub-county, what is going to happen there. If you look at the national does not spell out clearly sub-county in a given district. Also cannot talk specifically in a given district. So this sub-national forecast product is the best forecast that Unma is really giving. And it is very good use for what? For utilization.
When you are at sub-region level giving the forecast, do you find those people in villages and farmers, do they understand what you are telling them? Because the language of forecasting seems to be too abstract and hard to interpret.
You're right. That is one of the key reasons why we decided, Unma decided to go deeper into sub-national area. Because our forecast has a lot of scientific terminologies. Now, these particular scientific terminologies, it is like a global term. It is not only for Uganda, which is using it.
Yes.
You know, all professions, they have their terminologies.
Yeah.
You go to the health, they have their terminologies also. You go to finance, they have their terminologies. All professionals. So meteorological services also, they have their terminologies, which is global. And it is supposed to be used because anybody who comes from any part of the world, when he comes, he finds that the terms used in this forecast, it is the same like the one used in this country, so that you can easily understand. But it is the work of every Met services to make sure they simplify these terms to the layman person. So to do that, it is the reason why Unma has decided to go deeper to the subnational, to generate a forecast in the subnational. And when they're generating, we sit together with the district officials of those region. So the district official will now look at some of these terms. We explain it to them because we want them. We also put it in a language whereby a layman person, once he gets the information, they can interpret it. So that is the purpose of going to subnational. We are simplifying it to make it better.
Now, when you are, I want us to focus more on what you are doing now on subnational. What are the challenges that you are experiencing in trying to bring out the details of the forecast at subnational level?
Okay, thank you. Currently, there are so many challenges. One of the challenges I can talk of the finances, whereby, of course, it needs money to do that. Because in this subnational, we don't work alone as Unma. We have to get the people of those areas. We have to sit down together with them so that we generate the forecast product, and they are also supposed to contribute. Where they contribute, it is not about the projection. Giving the projection, it is the work of Unma. But now, this forecast contains two things. One, projected rain, and two, advice. What should so and so do based on this forecast product? So what should so and so do is the work of the local people, the technical people at the district local government. Because in the district local government, we have the agricultural department, we have also health, we have also water resources, we have also disaster management. So Unma is not an expert of every sector. So whenever Unma generated the forecast, it is the work of respective sectors to come and give input how this particular forecast is going to affect their department. So those district officials, those one in the health department will look at the forecast, then say, okay, if this is what we are expecting in the time to come, my department is going to be affected like this, and that. So the advisors should give to the community are this, and that. Come to production department, which is agriculture. Agriculture be affected at the district level. So the impact will be this on this kind of crop, like this, like this. So what should people do? They give advisories. So people should do this, and that. Then they go to disaster department, like that. So each of those particular departments in the district will come up with advice related to their department. So we package that information together with the forecast product. So that once somebody receives this particular forecast product, we'll look at the forecast, then comes down, we'll see advice to the forecasted rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what recommendations will you give the farmers? Because you are telling us 2 oceans are warming. So meaning we are likely to experience heavy rain is more than expected.
True.
And too much of anything is always bad. Last time we told the farmers they should prepare the lands, and they put some preparations for their agricultural produce.
Yeah.
How do you advise them amidst all the heavy rains that are most likely to come moving forward?
Okay, thank you. You know, when the 2 oceans are warming and the temperature is coming more than the normal temperature, always it is associated with giving us much rainfall. Whenever that kind of phenomena is coming, to me it is good. Rain, when it is coming, it is good. Of course, it comes with a lot of problems. But we can benefit, we can reap a lot of benefit out of that. Now, the benefit is, my advice for the people, for the beneficial part of it, they should make good use of this particular rain. They should make sure they plant whatever kind of crops. Because this kind of ocean, when they're warming at the same time, the two, meaning it will prolong the rain, and the rain will be more than enough. So for the period of September, October, November, there will be much rainfall during that period. So people should utilize this particular rain. Though people, you know, after this rain, we are going to a dry season. You can harvest this water. If you harvest this water, then during the dry season, which will be coming like by the end of December or January, at least you have some water which you have already harvested using this much rainfall which is happening right now. So it can help. Then there are other crops whereby you can plant, it mature within the shortest period of time. They can make good use of that because the rain is available. Then another advice, because those are the beneficial part of it, but there are also negative impact. Negative impact comes with a lot of disaster related to much rain. One, on the health. You know, there are some disease which can easily come up when there is much rainfall during this period of time. So surveillance would be put in place. And the health department, they know which particular disease always surfaces during the time when rain is much. So in that, more drugs would be stocked in the health centers to get ready for outbreak of those particular diseases. We come to disaster department. Disaster, we know everywhere across the district, across the country, there are areas which are prone to flooding. There are areas which are prone to landslide. There are areas which are prone to waterlogging. Now, because we are expecting much rainfall, those areas are now on a time bomb. So a farmer who is having a garden and that garden is always prone to flooding whenever too much rainfall comes, should get prepared and should make sure the kind of crop he or she is going to plant in that particular garden should not be the kind of crop that cannot survive in an area where there is much rain. So that is the precaution they should take. Then when we come to the animals, there are also disease outbreak of animals, that's the food rot. So we also need to stop the drugs. So those are some of the few advice I can give to people that is prepared because the rain is coming. And much rainfall is predicted to be coming in the next month, that is October. It is still building up. Thank you.
I'm surprised, and anyway, if you are out there, really you should take this discussion very serious. Then finally, as a Ugandan and as a human being using the infrastructure of this country, how should road users and or well-meaning citizens do to these heavy rains? Because in Uganda, drainage system is very poor.
Okay, thank you. Number one, you know, during rainfall period like this, sometimes there is a reduced visibility. Whereby if you are driving early morning hour when it is raining, you cannot see far.
Yes.
So motorists should take care. Whenever it is raining, please don't overspeed. If possible, you can park and leave the rain to subside. Then you continue because there can be accident occurring due to reduced visibility. You cannot see far. And the road, there are so many roads with a lot of gullies. And you know, with the heavy rain right now, it is even washing those gullies, it is even increasing the sizes. So most of the road are going to be affected, and road users, the motorists, the they will be affected alike. So there is need to take precaution, particularly in those kind of roads. Coming to the city, city is the worst. You see like how Kampala was flooding yesterday everywhere. Of course, you know Kampala is sitting on a wetland area. So water finds its own level. That is how we call it in physics.
Okay.
Water finds its own level. Water knows where it is. So what we are seeing yesterday, because much rainfall comes, water knows that during much rainfall, they've been sitting here, so they're coming. You know, Kampala, they have put a lot of pavement everywhere. It has given little time for water to sink, so the water has to move. So in that, to control that flow, the drainage must be open. If the drainage is blocked, then the water will come outside. And it is the cause why water Kampala has been flooding. That is one of the reasons. Thank you.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak to us, Mr. George William Omonyi.
Speaking to a senior meteorologist at Uganda National Meteorological Authority, Mr. George William Omonyi, he advises the public and projects that in mid-October we are going to receive heavy rains than the ones we are receiving now. The cause of these heavy rains is because the two oceans, Atlantic Ocean and the Indian Ocean, are warming at the same time. He advises the general public to take caution, most especially those using roads during rainy season, to avoid accidents. Now, the Ivan Show advises you to subscribe, like and share to follow the full discussion. I'm Ivan Tukundane, and this is the Ivan Show.